It's time for grassroots racers and fans to gather around. Welcome to the Racing Roundup Show, your destination for news and interviews within the Wisconsin racing scene, the upper Midwest, and from the world of motorsports. Thank you for joining us for our 38th season, America's longest running weekly motorsports program held in front of a live audience. Tell your friends they still have time to join the racing crowd for tonight's show. And now, here is the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey, race fans, welcome to a show that's like none other. We're live in Victory Lane at the Milwaukee Mile for the Briggs Sprecher 150 ARCA Menard Series race day tomorrow. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. We're looking forward to a big Sunday race day. This is August 27th, so tomorrow must be the big race, right? Nothing going on today. They're just starting to park the ARCA Menard Series haulers. They've come from across the country. 26 drivers entered, including 6 female racers. That ties, I think, a current era record of female racers in the field. It's an ARCA Menard Series and ARCA Menard Series East Series points championship race. So we'll see drivers from all over the place coming. Looking forward to seeing 25-plus cars in the Big 8 Series here tomorrow morning. Yeah, morning. They've got a busy day. It starts early tomorrow here at the Milwaukee Mile. We'll be talking to Big 8 Series racer Travis Rodewald about his chances and his thoughts. He raced here on Father's Day in his own super late model, so he's back here to race a late model at the Milwaukee Mile, a track he holds near and dear. We're also going to be speaking with, I believe, they're hauling cars in now. Greg Van Alst drives the number 35 in the ARCA Menard Series. He actually is going to be driving his own rig up from Anderson, Indiana. We're going to have Greg on the show to preview what he's thinking about at another new track in his first full season in the ARCA Menard Series. He comes out of the ARCA CRA Super Series 2019 champion there, so he's got that short track feel and roots to get grounded here tomorrow in his full-time season in the ARCA Menard Series. We're also going to be talking with Bob Sargent, Track Enterprises man in charge. He's been in business promoting races and series since 1985. He promotes the races here at the Milwaukee Mile. We're going to talk to Bob about the mile, and we're also going to talk to him. We haven't had him on the show since he actually announced the acquisition of the ARCA Midwest Tour at season's end from Greg and Angie McCarn. So we'll talk to him about that on the show. Looking forward to seeing you join us. We got some campers hanging out with us already. Hi, guys. There's Greg. Yes, he made it. We're going to have some fun on the show. Come on down and join us at the mile, or if you want, just chill and hang out right where you are. We'll be on for the next hour or so talking about what's going on tomorrow. The big Milwaukee Mile race day here at the Milwaukee Mile. This is the DeAndos Construction Roadshow, presented this week by Oak Creek Automotive. Come on down and join the racing crowd or enjoy the show. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Add value and beauty to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company, Incorporated. The team at Central Services is their personal choice of over 45 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin for landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction and building your backyard patio oasis, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts at Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business. Find out why Central Services can provide you with the visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For over 30 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emissions testing plus minor to major repair. From oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. Call Oak Creek Automotive 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th Street and Drexel to the pros at Oak Creek Automotive. ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help you with your spring cleaning. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Allis, Waukesha, and Milwaukee, right next to Miller Park. ARR Recycling since 1938.
cars and stars of the ARCA Menard Series return to the Milwaukee Mile for the Sprecher 150. Sunday, August 28th, the best of the best race for 150 laps, plus the Big 8 late models and the Upper Midwest Vintage Series. It all begins with qualifying at 11:30 and racing at noon. Save big money on discounted tickets at Menards and visit trackenterprises.com for more info. It's the ARCA Menard Series and 2 other classes. Sunday, August 28th at the Milwaukee Mile. Be there!
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show, a special DeAngelis Roadshow edition here at the Milwaukee Mile. Thanks to our friends at Oak Creek Automotive. We're hanging out here at the Mile. It's a Saturday afternoon. They're parking haulers, and we're racing first thing tomorrow morning. The haulers get to park as soon as 5:30 a.m. All the other series, other than the ARCA Menard Series, they get to park tomorrow morning. But tonight, we get the good fortune of having a driver that not only does a full-time job at Top Joints Fence in the Indianapolis area, he's a full-time racer in the ARCA Menard Series, and he drove the hauler here. Why not, right? So let's have Greg Van Alst on the show. Greg, thanks for stopping in. And we have a little clout. You were supposed to wait in line, but they shushed you forward, didn't they?
Yeah, thank you. We pulled in, and they just kept motioning us forward, and we're like, no, we're supposed to be behind these guys. And they're like, no, keep going. I'm like, all right, sure.
Did they give you a good spot?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, good. Greg Van Alst joining us as a full-time competitor in the ARCA Menard Series, racing it out of Anderson, Indiana. Let's take it back to where you got a chance half a life ago to race in the ARCA Menard Series at some 1.5-mile tracks, and that was you were 2021 at the time.
Yeah, something like that.
And then you went short track racing all over.
Yeah.
You did some sprint car stuff, and most importantly, you won 2 championships under the CRA sanction, the Sportsman and the Super Series title.
Yep.
What got you back into the ARCA Menard Series as deeply as you are now?
So, when I raced back in my early 20s, the 1.5-mile stuff is just, I don't know, it's just what I always wanted to do as a kid, growing up watching NASCAR and ARCA and everything else, just like that's where the racers are at, the 1.5-mile stuff. So when I did it back in my early 20s, I got a taste of it, got lucky and just got a ride, and pretty much been trying to get back to this since. Just started the fence company and told myself when I started the fence company I wouldn't race unless I could do it right. And I started back out in go-karts, believe it or not. And I'm 6'2", so go-karts were not really a thing for me. I'm too big for them. So ended up getting back into modified, and then that turned into a late model and was just doing like the sportsman stuff. And then that turned into doing supers, and then we got a little bit more serious and started running the CRA supers all the time. And yeah, just kind of slowly progressed our way back to doing this.
ARCA has a situation, you were a prime example. ARCA has a deal where if you win a sanctioned series, the ARCA CRA Super Series, or you win the ARCA Midwest Tour sanctioned Super Late Model Touring Series, they have this thing called Road to Daytona. And I know that you got the chance after winning the 2019 ARCA CRA Super Series to go to Daytona with Andy Hillenberg's car for X amount of laps at Daytona as like a present to win at. Was that the injection you needed to do this now?
Yeah, so the whole championship, thinking about it, going up to the last race, we knew we had to beat the other competitors. That was kind of the goal, was just to be able to go do the run at Daytona, because just in my head I thought, man, there's just no other way I'm going to ever be able to make it there. Coming down even to that final restart with like 17 to go, I was thinking about it.
And it's at Winchester, by the way. And the Winchester 400, the highest finisher of the 4 championship contenders, wins the championship.
Yeah,
so get us back to that spot, 17 to go. It's all on your mind.
So, I'm looking in the mirror. Josh Brock's back there. He's the one I got to beat. I'm just thinking like this is my one chance to make it, and the green dropped. And I blacked out for 15 laps.
No way.
I swear to you. It's like, my guys that helped me, they tell me I was making moves that they didn't even know I was capable of. 2 laps to go, I'm going down the backstretch, and my chest starts hurting. I think I held my breath for 15 laps. I'm not going to lie.
You didn't know what you were doing.
No. So it's like that's where I kind of come to, in the recollection of memory. And so those last 2 laps felt like, forever. But yeah, took the white flag. Josh Brock kind of went through 1 and 2, and I was watching him in my mirror probably as much as I was driving out the front, just to make sure there wasn't like a bonsai move. And he's a good competitor, so I didn't expect him to do anything crazy. And he got loose off of 2, and it was like, oh, I can breathe, but still had a half a lap to go, and man, it was a long half a lap.
So you win the championship. I think you finished 7th in that race overall. It didn't matter. You were having a good time because you knew it was yours. You won the championship, and you knew that prize was coming with it. January test for the ARCA Menard Series at Daytona, and you were hoping to get that chance, and that came through, and you guys went, I think I want to do a little more of this, right?
Yeah, so go to Daytona, and you roll through the gates, and there's no explanation. There's no way to tell you how that feels. It's a feeling like nothing else. So we roll in the gates, and my wife and kids are there, and I get to go do the on-track stuff, and it's like I pull out onto the track, and it's like, man, I can't believe this is happening, and I do my laps, and I get out, and I'm done for the day, and I'm just like, I'm no kidding. We're camping at the campground, right, just down the street. And I don't know what time it was. It's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon or evening or whatever. And I'm on Racing Junk looking for an ARCA car.
Really?
Like, I'm trying to figure out a way, because I'm like that like if you dangle a carrot out there, I'll figure out a way to get it. Yeah. And I was like, I told my wife then, I was like, I'm going to race here. Like, I've got to race here. I just have to. So she knew it was over. She knew. It's just a matter of time. So, then we end up going into the 2020 season, and it was just, man, I want to go to Daytona. I want to go to Daytona. And we were joking with our sponsor, Chris Barkdahl from CB Fabricating, that we're going to go, and, just trying to figure out a way to make it happen. I'd been saving as much money as I could through the summer, and that's hard to do when you're racing.
And you had a family, and you're racing,
and family.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving comes, and I'm like, man, I kind of started looking at Racing Junk again, trying to find an ARCA car, because if you don't know where anybody's at or anything, that's kind of the site you go to. And I found a car, called on it, then I called Frankie Kimmel, and talked to him some, and then he's like, hey, what about these cars? So I was like, I'm just going to go down to Charlotte. So I told my wife I was going to buy a car, but I was going to lease an engine. She knows. She knows me. She knows it was just something to tell her, just to, whatever. So I ended up flying down to Charlotte, and I met with Billy Venturini, a couple other teams, and then ultimately with Chad Bryant. And I don't know, I just kind of told my story to Chad, and Chad kind of took a liking to the story and me, and that I'm a family guy, and I don't want to say I'm trying to race the right way, because I don't want to take anything away from anybody that's racing at this level, but it's just, I'm an old school racer, right? So I think there was a lot of respect there, and we ended up working a deal to buy a car off of him, and I bought a car, and then they wouldn't let me have it for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Ooh, that's harsh, because the car's sitting there. You saw it.
Well, but looking back, I'm glad, because like if I'd have had a truck and trailer with me, this whole story could have went different.
Okay.
So Paul Andrews, which we all knew who Paul Andrews is, he was working for Chad still at the time, and hey, if you throw a car in front of Paul Andrews, it's going to go to the racetrack. He's going to work on it. So that car got massaged for 3 weeks, prior to Daytona by Paul Andrews. And then he got his deal with KBM, and then that's how Jim Long and I got hooked up. And, so it's kind of it was like a best case scenario for somebody that's planning on just going to Daytona and running a Daytona race. That car that we got, that was Chad's backup car, I think, from the year before. And, if which I know you know, but for those out there listening and watching, those of you that don't know Chad, his stuff's top notch. And his backup car, I mean, it's just is comparable to his primary.
Yeah.
So, it was. I don't want to say we got lucky. We just met the right people at the right time, and was able to make the right moves at the right time to put us in the position we're in.
Talking with Greg Van Alst, last year ran a partial schedule, a lot of big track stuff, some short track stuff. His best finish actually came at Winchester Speedway, finishing second last fall at ARCA Menard Series race. But now you said, I'm going to commit to the full season. And I know that takes a bunch of time and effort. And Chris Barkdahl is a guy that you put a fence in his yard in 2018. You got talking. He is behind you every way. You guys are making this work out of Anderson, Indiana. You mentioned Jim Long. And I'm going to brag on you a little bit because Jim still lives in Charlotte. He worked for Hendrick Motorsports for decades. Remember the Terry Labonte Kellogg's car with the cornflakes on the hood? That was Jim Long as a crew chief back then. But Jim worked at Hendrick Motorsports, I think, 2 years ago, and or 3 perhaps. And he's your guy that does the finalizing of what you guys want to talk about, and he's your brain trust when it comes to the race weekends. But you're in Indiana with your guys working on the car, and you bring it to Jim when you can, or he just meets you at the racetrack, right?
Yeah. So I got 2 real good friends, Jason Garrett and Brandon Grant. They both work full-time jobs, and we put as many hours as we can in the shop. And then half the races, I would say, maybe a little more, Jim will come up and do final prep, and we're right there working along with him. But I mean, there's races that he hasn't came up, and we've done the final prep. So it works for us. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. I thought, well, it's gonna be about like racing late models, where you're going week in, week out. And could it be done like that? Yes, but it takes different cars for different tracks, just the way the bodies are hung, geometry. So it's tough. I'm gonna say it's a little tougher than what we anticipated. But what are we got? 6 races to go.
Yeah, we're 14 races in already.
And
yeah,
we're making plans to hopefully do this again next year. But it's like next year is going to be easier because we know what we're getting into. We know how we can prepare. I mean, we're already talking about that kind of stuff. So, if all the sponsorship comes through, we've got some things that we're working on for next year. If all that comes through, I think we'll be in a better position than we were this year. And then we'll be able to be a little bit further ahead than we were going into this year.
Speaking of Greg Van Alst, who's racing tomorrow at the Milwaukee Mile in the Sprecher 150 ARCA Menard Series race, this is another new track for you. You're running full-time. This would be 4 races in 3 weekends. Double dip last weekend and just in New York and Illinois. And then this weekend with the mile, and next week you're back on the dirt in Southern Illinois at DuQuoin. What about the prep here specifically for the mile? What'd you do? Who'd you talk to? And what do you think you got for a setup?
I haven't done anything for here. I'm not going to lie. We've been so busy. I mean, sometimes I'll get on iRacing. But for here, I mean, it's I'm hoping it's just another paved racetrack where you turn left, because we haven't been to one of them in a while. So
road course and a dirt mile last weekend. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So so I'm gonna be a little bit behind the 8 ball, even from the people that have never been here before. I've not even been on iRacing on this track. So I've watched some last year's race. I've watched it a couple times, but setup wise and stuff, we've talked with Chad and Jim's put together a setup, and it's just like anybody else that's a rookie in the series. We hope it works. We have a plan B if it doesn't, and hopefully plan A works out.
Great to have that resource. I mentioned Chad Bryant last year. He was a crew chief in this series, not for Greg, but he's a crew chief for a couple of GMS racing teams. And Daniel Dye, his young driver, finished 3rd here last year. He is now racing 2nd in points. He's back, so it's kind of good. You guys talk during the race weekend, or is it more what he gets to plan on beforehand because he's got his team and you have yours?
It's definitely he's got his team and we have ours. A lot of it's just at the racetrack. So like last weekend, we'll talk a little bit. Chad's really hard to get a hold of during the week. He's so busy and he's focused on the 43 car, which is 100% understandable, right? We'll talk some when we unload and whatnot, and through the weekend and through practice and whatnot. But I mean, he kind of points us in the right direction, and then I don't want to say we're kind of on our own, but I mean, we're our own race team, right? So, I mean, we do our own things sometimes, and Chad will tell us, why did you do that? And I mean, it's just part of racing, right? I mean, you have to do what you can when you can, and every move you make, you think you're making the right move, but sometimes you're just not.
You're making the right move by joining us before you head out to your next commitment. We appreciate you bringing the hauler in. We got you in early to get you on.
Yep.
And it's going to be an early day tomorrow. We're opening up the gates. I think they're opening the garage as early as 6. Your hauler's already inside. So whoever's driving you to and from the hotel, I'm sure you're okay. You got to figure out where.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll come at 6:30. What do you think?
No, I'll be here at 6. I got to be here when the gate opens. If I'm not here when the gate opens, I'm just going to be laying or sitting at the hotel like, man, I really should be there doing this and this and this. I'm too hands-on.
Well, appreciate your time today on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Greg Van Alst joining us on the program. He's racing tomorrow on the Sprecher 150. Get your tickets at Menards by buying a case of Sprecher Root Beer. The big yellow cases, we got one right here in front of us. That yellow case is your ticket to the race. Buy it through today at any Menards store nationwide. Buy the case of root beer in the Sprecher Root Beer aisle. That case is worth a race ticket. So every race ticket is basically a case. So if you buy 5 cases at Menards today, bring that receipt tomorrow morning starting at 9 a.m. to the main gate. And that receipt that has X amount of root beer cases on it, you buy 3 cases, that's good for 3 race tickets. 5 cases, that's 5 tickets. Come on down and join the racing crowd. You now see Greg Van Alst sitting next to me for a few minutes. He'll be busy tomorrow racing that number 35 CB Fabricating Ford. So, Greg, thanks for your time. We're looking forward to a great race tomorrow, and we wish you the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Greg Van Alst joining us on the program. This portion of the program brought to you by D&H Sales and Service in Sheboygan. Sheboygan's Lawn and Garden Power Center. SheboyganPowerCenter.com is their website address. We also want to thank ARR Recycling. That's Allied Resource Recovery with 3 locations, one in West Dallas at 80th and Burnham. ARR Waukesha's at 1001 Tesh Court, and they're right across from where the Brewers play tonight against the Cubs. You going to the game? You going to the game? He just said go Brewers. I heard him say go. Oh, the microphone's down. What are you going to do? AlliedResourceRecovery.com is the website as well. We'll be right back talking to another driver. He talked about how great it is to go through the gates of Daytona. My nephew, Travis Rodewald, has some high regard for rolling into Milwaukee, Wisconsin's biggest mile oval. He'll get to race on tomorrow in the Big 8 Late Model Series. We'll talk to Travis next on the Racing Roundup Show.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
Need a pack and move? Well, we do a lot of them. And we have all the proper materials to pack your belongings safe and sound so they arrive in the same condition as they went out in. Packing boxes, bubble wrap, mirror packs, lamp boxes, dish packs. We get the job done right. Packed and labeled properly so it all ends up in the right spot in your new place. This is Rick Vanderboom. Blue Mountain Express Moving and Storage will improve your move.
BlueMountainExpress.com. We will improve your move.
Statewide.
The cars and stars of the ARCA Menards Series return to the Milwaukee Mile for the Sprecher 150. Sunday, August 28th, the best of the best race for 150 laps, plus the Big 8 late models and the Upper Midwest Vintage Series. It all begins with qualifying at 11:30 and racing at noon. Save big money on discounted tickets at Menards and visit TrackEnterprises.com for more info. It's the ARCA Menards Series and 2 other classes. Sunday, August 28th at the Milwaukee Mile. Be there!
We're back on the Racing Roundup Show, the DeAngelis Construction Road Show. We're smack dab right in Victory Lane at the Milwaukee Mile, where they're racing tomorrow. 3 big races. The Upper Midwest Vintage Series has 2 features tomorrow. We also have the Big 8 Series, the Big 30-lapper, and also the Sprecher 150. a Milwaukee sponsor, a Milwaukee race. Come on down and join the racing crowd tomorrow. Gates open at 9 a.m. It's an early start for the teams. They got to be in here as soon as 5:30 or 6 to park their haulers. And Arkham Menard Series haulers are parking right now. We're hanging out in Victory Lane thanks to Oak Creek Automotive for their support of the show. We also have D'Angelo's Construction. What a great supporter they have for any time we travel out and about. We've been to some really cool places, and it's great to be back at America's legendary oval here in Victory Lane at the mile. Quickly last night, if you weren't able to be part of the sizable crowd or watch the Midwest Tour.tv's coverage, you missed the memorable Howie Lotto Classic 100 last night. The ARCA Midwest Tour was racing at Madison International Speedway with the Midwest Truck Series and 602 Outlaw late models. Ty Majeski set quick time, started 12th, and on the invert, he was already leading by lap 25. With 6 to go, though, he had 3 more restarts, and Casey Johnson lined up inside of him each time. Ty got the jump. The last restart had spin on the initial run, so they had to go re-rack him. Ty did not get clear of Casey Johnson. Casey got to his inside. They both moved up in turn 4. Casey got the better run. Casey went on to win the race. Ty Majeski actually said he had a tire going soft. He lost second spot in the final moments to Austin Nason. So great race last night under the ARCA Midwest Tour banner at Madison International. And Casey Johnson now has won a $5,000 bonus put up by Greg and Angie McCarnes. They own Madison, the racetrack. They said at the start of the year we have 2 ARCA Midwest Tour races. If somebody wins them both, they get a $5,000 bonus, and Casey Johnson cashed in last night. Also, congrats to Chester Ace for winning the Sassy Cow Creamery 30, his 26th Midwest Truck Series race at Madison International Speedway. Danielle Bain surprised herself with a great run last night to finish second ahead of Oak Creek Automotive sponsor James Swan, who set fast time and raced up to third from his 11th starting spot in the 30-lapper. Veteran Tom Carlson was all smiles after a great performance last night in the 602 Outlaw late models. He'd set fast time and walked away with a feature victory. Last week's show guest at Danny Lynch's Bonafide Security Solutions sponsored Bryce Miller finished third. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to bring in our next guest here at the mile. He raced here on Father's Day weekend in a super late model, primarily racing this season as a late model competitor weekly at Wisconsin International Raceway. He's also my nephew, Travis Rodewald, back to the mile. Congrats, man. You got it here. You're ready to go racing at the mile again.
Oh, yeah. I love racing here. It's fun.
Why are you so involved in saying, when are they racing? I want to race, because you did not race a super late model, and you said, wait a minute, I'm getting a car together in June to go racing here.
Yeah, that was a last-minute decision. Running them super lates here is pretty expensive, and I don't have a big checkbook, so, it's on my bucket list, and I own a super late, and it's like, you know what, we're just going to do it.
And this is not the first time doing it. This is like Mid-American Stock Car Series. When you've had a Mid-Am car, you're like, I got to race the mile.
Yeah,
what's the appeal here?
Well, you don't get to go these speeds any other place in Wisconsin, and I really like supporting tracks, and this track is one that really needs to be supported a lot. It's, one of the oldest Wisconsin tracks in Wisconsin here, and I just don't want to see it die, and I wish more people would come out and race it. It's a lot of fun, even if you aren't competitive, it's just enjoyable going at a different pace that you don't ever get to go at any short track in Wisconsin.
And you take it on in a big way in terms of preparation. What did you guys do even this morning to get ready for tomorrow's Big 8 race at the mile?
Well, just going over the whole car and trying to change the setup a little bit. You don't run quite the same setup you do at a short track, but just tire prep, making sure everything's perfect, trying to have everything. You don't want to. You only got 2 practices here,
yeah.
So you got to be very close to spot on, or you're not going to be winning the race. So just a lot of time in the garage, making sure everything is set up properly and all our tires are perfectly mounted and all staggered up the right sizes, and just a lot of extra work.
All right, Travis, I'm going to go through part of this schedule, and I'm going to ask you where you're going to be in your mindset and what you guys actually have to do to get ready. So tomorrow morning, we talked about how early things get rolling. Your haulers come in at 6 in the morning or sooner.
Yep.
There is a practice for the ARCA Menard Series at 9, and you guys roll on the track at 9:25 till 10:25 for the first of 2 practice sessions. How soon do you have to be ready to get, at the end of pit road, pit out for that 9:45 session?
Well, probably be sitting in line already at 20 after 9, because when if you're the first one out, you get to open. You get to be out on the track by yourself and don't have anyone to compete with, so you can get your full speed that you're looking for. Not that anyone else is going to be at the same speed, but it's always nice to have an open track to play with.
And then there'll be a 15-minute session for the vintage cars, and then you get another session. It's called qualifying.
Yeah, qualifying, that hurt me last year.
At 10:50 in the morning. So you don't have much time to turn it around.
Right. Yeah, you got to be pretty close to spot on with your setup. You ain't got a lot of time to change things. So when you go out for that qualifying, you better be right on. And last year we kind of got in with some cars that had some problems. So
was it group qualifying? Do you know what they're going to do tomorrow?
Group qualifying, okay. Yep. Well, it would be nice if it wasn't, but group qualifying is okay. But then when you got a guy who who missed his setup just a little bit, and you catch up to him, then you lose your momentum. And when you set the car up for qualifying, your tires aren't at the same pressure you race at, so you only got 3-4 laps, and your tires will be already too warmed up. So you gotta try to get out in front and get a good run.
We're live inside the Milwaukee Mile with Travis Rodewald, one of the 25 or so drivers entered in the Big 8 Series race that's happening tomorrow as part of a 3-division series run here. The Sprecher 150 ARCA Menard Series race happens at 2 o'clock. You guys are racing in the morning, and I want to just go through some of the names on the entry list as the bees are out, by the way. If you couldn't tell, I'm not doing that. I'm not Italian. I can't use my hands all the time, but I do talk a lot with my hands. Getting these bees out of here. But the Big 8 entry list includes Jeremy Miller, who's won here at the mile. Casey Johnson, who won last night, and he's really good in a late model. John Reynolds Jr., he's won the Big 8 Series title before a number of times. Zach Riddle, who won the Madison Championship in late models this year. Jordan DeVoy, who was out here actually with CBS 58 on Friday morning. It was really cool. I'm getting stung. Really cool getting some laps in from publicity. It was really cool to see Jordan out here with Mitch Haver, too. That was really cool that those guys came out. Darren Wolke from Minnesota. He runs at Elko every week. Jerry Miller from nearby Slinger, and Tom Behrens, who's got a lot of fans here and friends in the area. It's a stacked list, man. Have you looked at it?
Yeah, there's a really good stack of field here. There's going to be some good guys running.
Do you care about who you race against?
Nope, not at all.
I love it because you work so hard with you and Kurt's here as well. You guys are camping. I mean, you guys take this serious, but it's a little vacation for you and your family and friends, right?
Yep, mini vacation with a lot of fun. I want to win just as bad as anyone else, but I like to just chill out, and I enjoy to make it a camping weekend and take a little breath in between it.
And you got friends all over. I know Ryan Gutenecht and Bobby Gutenecht. You guys became friends when you were in the mid-ams, and they want to pop by. They're going to stop by at some point, right? And talk.
Yep.
That's kind of a cool gathering
absolutely.
place.
Yeah, we've been to so many places and met so many people over the last 20 years that we got a lot of fan base, and we got a lot of people we know.
Hard to believe you've been doing this for 20 years. Travis is my nephew. My wife Susan's sister Margaret is his mom, and I'm telling you, it's been fun to watch him race. He wanted to race, and then when the mile became a reality for you, how many years have you actually raced here at the mile?
Oh, I would say it's probably got to be like number 8 or 10 so far. I know that we raced at least 4 or 5 times in the mid-am car, I think, here, and then we raced twice here in the Big 8 car. So this will be the 3rd time actually in the Big 8 car, and we raced the Super Late here. And I did try 2 other times to run a Super Late here in the past, but I wrecked once and I blew up an engine once, so we never got to finish those other 2 times in the Super here. So.
A lot goes into it. Who helps support Travis Rodewald and Roadhog Racing?
Well, I do have a lot of sponsors. Well, not really, but enough. I got 4M Machine out of Kaukauna, and I'd like to thank them guys, and John Mayer Insurance. That's very helpful. Those guys are on my WI car, and I definitely bring them along with me when I travel.
It's kind of cool seeing that header said Mayer across the top. A lot of guys that race Kaukauna have that insurance company behind them. Especially after the big feature win a couple weeks ago for you.
He sponsors a lot of guys. Yeah, John Mayer is he helps out racing a lot. He's really involved in racing, and he's got his name on a lot of cars. But I got Abbey Ridge Development and JSL Real Estate, and then I got a new sponsor on the car here. And actually, I worked for his family on their family farm for 28 years.
Wait a minute, you're like 29 years old.
29. I wish I was 29 yet. I'd feel a lot better. But, Nye's Premium Meats and Sweets, they just bought the bakery that is in downtown Slinger. And they are going to be opening here on 8/31. So actually,
that's cool. That's this week.
A couple days away,
yeah.
Yep. They're going to be opening up. They just got everything redone in there. And they are going to be offering custom cut meat products of beef, pork, chicken, and turkey. They're going to have over 40 different kinds of brats, and they're actually going to have the official burger of Wisconsin there, too.
Oh.
Never got to have one, but I tell you what, I'm going to get one of them.
What's the name of it? It's in Slinger. It's opening up this week?
Yep, it's Nye's Meats and Sweets.
All right.
And they also have a full line of bakery there. They got pies, fresh donuts, cookies, candy, and, of course, the famous peanut squares that have always been at that bakery in Slinger, and I know a lot of people like those down there. So I recommend anyone that lives in the Slinger area. And I actually, when I was down there, when he first bought the business, when he bought it out, there's a lot of people that was still showing up there while it was in transition. And a lot of them were even from Milwaukee, driving all the way to Slinger to this place just to get bakery. So it's actually a very famous place that people drive to go get just a donut.
Do you bring any peanut squares with you to the mile?
No, but I bet you I could get some tomorrow if you want.
As if I need it, but I'm just saying, if they got you set, let's share it, right?
He told me he was going to bring us steaks tomorrow, so
all right.
Hopefully keeps on his word.
We're not going to divulge where Travis's camping spot is now. We're just going to keep that totally secret. You have to sniff your way through and get in there. About folks, we talked about family, we talked about friends, we talked about a long-time commitment by a lot of people to help you go racing. Who are those folks?
That is Kurt Carstens and Heather, his wife. They've been with me since the very beginning, back in 21 years ago almost already. And then got Bill, my dad, there. He's been helping out too, as much as he can. Obviously, he can't always help, but he helps what he can. And my wife, I better thank her, because she doesn't like it when I don't. But yeah, that's Madeline. She helps out me on the car. That's Kurt's daughter. That she wants to race someday, and well, let's hope she moves on from that. But yes, I'll give her my car and she can have fun.
Yeah, cool.
But I got Jim Duco. He has been a big part of my success. He took me under his wing back in 2010. He started helping me on mid-am cars. And in 2012, he told me, let's get you a late model. You need to move up. So that's what we did. And he's been with me ever since. And without him, I probably would never have gotten this far.
And you won the championship in 2017 in late models at Wisconsin International Raceway. And you decided to go back to run the majority of the races there this year. Is Jim still helping you through the program with as many laps and advice and support he's given you?
Absolutely, yep. He still comes over to my house. The car used to stay at his house, and he took care of it and actually brought it to the track for me, because I work a lot of hours, and it's hard for me to do all that. But now that I got my big shop at home, he actually drives the Manitowoc, helps me out, and gets the car set up, and comes to the track every week and helps me out. So, and then this week I got Ed Holmes helping me in the pits here. It's always nice. He's my crew chief guy for this week, making decisions on the car. I also would like to give a big thanks to Pathfinder Chassis. That's their chassis that I run. They help me on pre-set up stuff to get the stuff done in the garage, which on setup notes and stuff. So anyone that needs help getting their car set up, whether it's Pathfinder or maybe you want to change to a Pathfinder, I recommend giving them guys a call, because they do a good job helping me out.
Great to have you on the program. Travis Rodewald gives you the rundown of what he's up to. Tomorrow's a big day. We talked about practice in the morning. We talked about qualifying groups starting at 10:50. If all goes to plan, they're going to go race at 12:30 tomorrow on the Big 8 Series race, right after General Tire Pole qualifying for the ARCA Menard Series. That's a big race day for you. I'm glad you got to spend part of your big weekend with us on the Racing Roundup Show. Travis, thank you.
Thank you.
Travis Rodewald joining us on the show. We're on the Big 8 race tomorrow. We mentioned the Upper Midwest Vintage are here. The ARCA Menard Series is here tomorrow. You need to get those cases of root beer at Sprecher root beer cases, the big yellow ones. They come with 24 bottles of this in it. Less than $20. The ticket tomorrow at the gate is more than that. So come on down and get those at Sprecher cases at Menards. And if you don't get the chance to do that, tickets are available at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning here at the box office at the Milwaukee Mall. Come on down, join the racing crowd, bring your friends, and have a great racing day. Hope we're getting the appetite whetted here with a couple of drivers on the show. When we come back, we're talking to the man who's been involved at the Milwaukee Mall, bringing racing back, keeping it here year to year. Bob Sargent with Track Enterprises is our guest next on the Racing Roundup Show. Stick around.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Contact us on our website, racingroundupshow.com. We'll be right back with more of the Upper Midwest and Wisconsin racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports. Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For over 30 years and counting, the NAPA Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emissions testing plus minor to major repair, from oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. Call Oak Creek Automotive, 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m., and Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th Street and Drexel to the pros at Oak Creek Automotive.
Add value and beauty to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company, Incorporated. The team at Central Services is their personal choice of over 45 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin for landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction and building your backyard patio oasis, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts at Central Services at 548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business. Find out why Central Services can provide you with the visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
Hey, we're back on the Racing Roundup Show. We're glad to have you with us. This is a Saturday edition, the DeAngelis Construction Road Show. We're hanging out in Victory Lane at the Milwaukee Mile. Thanks to DeAngelis Construction, they are supporting our road shows all season long. They're a racing family business serving Milwaukee area since 1982 with their trucking, snow plowing, and expert concrete work. They lay only the best commercial and residential concrete and will work with you to make your designs and ideas come to life, including stamped concrete and decorative displays. Go online right now to DeAngelisConstructionLLC.com. This portion of our show is brought to you by Matt Rapino, Caldwell Banker, Home Sale Realty. List and buy with confidence. Hire a realtor that has the knowledge and expertise to get your deal done. Not all realtors are the same. Choose Caldwell Banker, Home Sale Realty, and list it with Matt Rapino. Knowledge is power. Hire knowledge. The website to go to, mattrapina.com, mattrapina.com. We are happily joined in Victory Lane at the Milwaukee Mile on another race weekend, thanks to our next guest, Bob Sargent, Track Enterprises. Bob, thanks for having us back home in our home yard and your now new home for Wisconsin racing. Thanks for all you do, man.
Well, thank you for having me on.
We haven't had you on in a while, but we want to thank you for putting on the Father's Day race. That was huge for the super late models. A great race. I mean, this William Sawalish kid, he's something. He just finished second behind Casey Johnson by a whisker. Well, you and I were watching Casey race last night. He's racing on the Big 8 race. This is going to be cool to see that kind of a high-level Big 8 series entry field for the races tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. I just hope the fans all, realize how many of those great, talented drivers are coming for the Big 8 race tomorrow. And obviously, we're all looking forward to the ARCA Menard series. But, man, those Big 8 guys do a great job.
So you were at Madison last night. I'm guessing your schedule gets a little busy this time of year because you are the promoter of record for the ARCA Menard series at the Springfield Mile last weekend. And you're also heading to DuQuoin to put on the modified Silver Crown and ARCA Menard series race next weekend, right?
We are, yeah. I'm doing a lot.
You got a lot of miles going on.
We're also doing the little quarter-mile tracks at the same time, so we got a lot going on. And, the 2023 season's upon us already, so we're really busy scheduling and working on that.
With this race being as big as it is for us here in the Wisconsin area, being back here, it's a live TV race, but we want fans here to support it. It's huge and it's important. When you walk into a meeting, Bob, you are representing all of us saying, we want to have racing at the mile. You need to support this racing at the mile. You can't just say, I wish it would come back. I wish it would. No, it's here. It's back. It's now. You're the one making it happen. How much time and effort goes into this? Your staff has been working like crazy here to get the exposure and everything right for this weekend.
Yeah, we have. We started a couple years ago. We're bringing back the Father's Day race with the ARCA Midwest Tour, and Greg McCarn's working with all that. And just the success that evolved into, and then bringing back the Menards ARCA series, and with Sprecher being right here in town, it's just been a great match. And now we're working on some more things here for the facility. So it's just too nice a facility to let sit empty, and we're really working hard on bringing some more things here.
That's a great sound to hear out of your voice, because a lot of folks ask me all the time, what's next, what can happen? I said, Bob Sargent's the guy making it happen. You've got these 2 weekends this year. You mentioned 2023. You're already, I'm guessing, talking about other events already for the mile?
Well, sure, trying. We've been in talks for actually over a year now, and hopefully some things will develop. But we're working all of 23, all over the Midwest.
So Bob Sargent runs Track Enterprises, roughly 80 events a year, adding on the task in February of purchasing the Champion Racing Association from R.J. Scott and Glenn Luckett. They are now still running those 4 divisions under the CRA banner, and you own that and you oversee that. And now it's been announced, we haven't had you on the show since you actually said, I'm acquiring, Track Enterprises going into business and acquiring the ARCA Midwest Tour from the McCarns family. How is it going, and what has transpired since that news broke with you and developing for next year as you take over at season's end?
Well, it's kind of like we announced, 22 was just a really development, get to learn everything, and 23 will still, it'll be a work in progress for quite a while. We're so lucky to have Greg and Angie and all that staff, to learn from and get their assistance. So the main objective now is to just tweak where we can, make it better, and then we're working on a national series that all 3 of these regional series will work towards and help build a great foundation.
When it comes to having the opportunity to do that, that takes months and months of planning. We're talking about schedules. We're talking about rules. That's probably what 25% of your week, 40% of your week already this year?
I sure don't want to add up my percentages of hours, but yeah, it does take a lot of time, and again, I have to rely on a lot of people to help. There's other people behind the scenes that are putting a lot of hours in and coordinating with tracks across the United States with rules and schedules and sponsors and all that goes into play. So again, we feel like we're building a really good foundation to keep this whole sport alive and make it a lot better.
Will we see a lot of changes? ARCA CRA Super Series has 4-barrel carburetors, for example. ARCA Midwest Tour has 2-barrel carburetors and super lates. They both have established big races. They have established schedules, and the CRA Super Series is one of their sanctioning series. They have the JEG CRA Super Series. They've got the Sportsman. They've got there's one more division they sanction. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Regardless of that, there's a lot they do. Those series travel amongst their own tracks. They race at weekly tracks as an added division. Will we see a lot of changes already for next year?
Well, again, I mean, I think everyone around me and myself especially, we're not going to promise and under-deliver. We're going to try to over-deliver. And we're listening to everyone right now and kind of gauging the needs and the desires, the economy, what the teams can afford, what the promoters can afford to bring. So we like to be involved in something that's not broke. And this thing up here is definitely not broke. It's going very well. Proof of that was the race at Kaukauna or even Greg's race last night at Madison. Big crowds, great car counts, good talent, and it ended up with a great race. So, again, everything's going so well here that there are no huge plans to change anything. But, again, anything that we see can make it better or things like that. We listen to the teams a lot. With all Greg's experience and all the officials and things like that and the promoters. So all that as a package, we'll listen and see what we can tweak.
And how we can benefit here in Wisconsin is Bob's already involved. He's promoted the Knoxville Truck Series race. NASCAR trucks have gone to Knoxville the last 2 years. He's the promoter that's putting those shows on. He put on 2 of the 6 SRX races this year. You're running the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway with Scott involved as your overseer of the general manager of that weekly beautiful fairgrounds track and all the things that are developing there. I'm not going to ask for percentages, but that also gives us the ability to say you've got a depth of current ability to call on resources to make things happen.
I think that's the main advantage that we have, and we're going to try to use that advantage is with all that depth and working with Tim Bryant in Pensacola with the Southern Super Series and that. We really feel like we're gathering a lot of great people in the sport together. And they all have a lot of experience. They all have great ideas, great minds, and we'll try to take all the good out of that and learn from the things that haven't worked.
And I love the idea you're willing to take on the challenge and chances. I mean, Sprecher Root Beer, yes, you could buy a case of Sprecher Root Beer at Menards, but that ultimately you don't see a whole lot of that money. People enjoy the root beer. They get a free ticket. It's all part of the sponsorship. That's all part of the adjustment in the mindset of saying, what is my take? What is my, it makes sense. Let's get some more feet on the ground. People walking by buying pliers at Menards are now going to come to a racetrack and watch a race.
Right. Well, again, Menards has been such a great supporter of the ARCA series and racing in general. We work with them in a lot of events, and they bring different vendors on board. And again, Sprecher was a natural fit being right here in the Milwaukee area. And then to work with the people at Sprecher has been a joy because they're very promotion-oriented. They want to sell root beer. They want to sell their products in the stores. So the more we can help them do that, the better. And that's kind of what we're in business for, is helping them move this product, get the branding out, and buy a case, get a ticket for the race was just a great little promotion that we started last year. And I think we're hearing from all the store managers about how many cases of Sprecher root beer they've moved this year on this. So really been a success, and we just hope that the people come out and see this great race tomorrow.
So buy that. You can still buy them today if they're still in stock. Look for the yellow case of Sprecher root beer like we have right here on display. Buy that case of Menards. Bring that receipt tomorrow at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We have a redemption booth set up here, I believe, just for that redemption. That receipt, every case you buy equals 1 race ticket. So buy 2 cases if you're bringing a buddy. Buy 3 cases, you get the root beer. Bring that receipt with you, and that's good. That's good for 1 race ticket for every case you buy. Anything we need to know about tomorrow's schedule? It's bright and early, Bob. I know you're an early riser, but we're getting cracking, man. You got to be here. You got to be here early. We're racing at 12:30 already.
Well, we do, but we're the workers and we're the teams putting on the show. Just like the players have to get in the locker room early. But the fans, again, first race will be at 12:30. They can come watch practice earlier than that if they want. Come tailgate, come enjoy the Wisconsin food and Sprecher root beer out here in the Midway area. And then the main race will be at 2 p.m. But these preliminary races will be good too with the vintage on track, and then the Big 8 Series. And it'll just be a full good day. We'll get you out of here in time to get home and watch the news and get the kids ready for school Monday.
Yeah, that's the big deal. It's that time of year. Bob Sargent, thanks for your time. Thanks for all you're doing for us here in Wisconsin. And keep it going, man. If there's anything we can do with this show or in person to help you, please let us know. We want to make sure things roll, and we want you to be here tomorrow supporting this race and all Bob and his small, dedicated staff are doing to put races on here, Bob. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob Sargent joining us here on the Racing Roundup program. We're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we'll tell you about a few more things, what happened last night for a couple of first-time winners, as well as what's coming up tonight for your short track fever before you head out here to the Milwaukee Mile, starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning when the gates open. Back with more on this DeAngelo's Construction Roadshow special edition, thanks to Oak Creek Automotive in Victory Lane at the Milwaukee Mile. We'll be right back.
Thank you for joining us. Like our show on
D&H Sales and Service is Sheboygan County's largest steel and outdoor power equipment dealer. Since 2003, owner Brad Dahmer and D&H Sales and Service strives to offer you the best brands with leading manufacturers such as Aaron's, Gravely, Ferris, Simplicity, Snapper, Steel, Wright, and Toro. Each brand is backed by a stocked parts department and the highest level of customer service. All of our inventory is online at SheboyganPowerCenter.com, and when you buy from D&H, you will be shown how to safely operate your ready-to-use equipment. We have over 80 feet of steel display, and we have over 75 pieces of steel equipment in stock. D&H is Sheboygan County's only Brakes and Stratton Diamond dealer with a master service technician and factory-trained service department. D&H Sales and Service is conveniently located off of I-43 in Sheboygan and is an authorized service and warranty center for most brands on the market. We'll service almost any brand of small engine equipment. Call us for details at 920-458-1865. D&H Sales and Service also offers pickup and delivery to Sheboygan, Manitowoc, and Ozaukee counties. Search D&H Sales and Service on Facebook or log on to SheboyganPowerCenter.com today.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup program. We're likely going to be here with you tomorrow. We're going to be here Tuesday as well on the Racing Roundup show. We've got a great program lined up for you. We'll tell you about in a moment on what's on this Tuesday's program. Last night, Turk Letizia won the Wabam Dirt Kings Tour race at his home track, Plymouth Dirt Track. Congrats, Turk. That's his first ever win there. Congrats to Chase McDermott, who won the Badger Midget title the last 3 years. He's now racing full-time in the in National Midgets, whether it be Power Eye or he won his first ever Extreme Midget Series last night at Davenport Speedway in Iowa. He's back there tonight to race, so that's going to be kind of cool if you're going to follow him with Chase. He's jazzed because he won his first ever race with that new team he's racing with this year. Tonight, here's an idea. Here's a really good idea. Dells Raceway Park, the Marlin Shoes Walbeck Classic featuring the Midwest Truck Series and twin features for the CWA Super Late Medals. That is tonight at Dells Raceway Park. They have 3 weekly divisions as well. Racing starts at 6, so get on your horse and get to Dells Raceway Park. Their website is dellsracewaypark.com. For Dirt Oval fans, it's a big open wheel special night at Wilmot Raceway tonight on the Kenosha County Fairgrounds near the Illinois-Wisconsin border. The bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Series is racing along with the APS Badger Midgets and MSA 360 Wing Sprint cars. It's a big open wheel special. Head that way now. Gates open in a few minutes at Wilmot Raceway. Tonight is the racing night that you want to be there. IRA, MSA, and Badger Midgets. Great show. It's all in one night at Wilmot Raceway. Gates open at 5 p.m. This coming Tuesday on our Racing Roundup program, we've got a lot going on. We're at Polly's Pub and Eatery. So I'm in Victory Lane at the Milwaukee Mile right now. I always say if your throttle hangs in turn 1, you're going to find Polly's eventually because you're going to get through there. But that's how close we are to our show on Polly's every Tuesday night. That's our main home. So come on down and join us Tuesday night. We're dishing up fresh content starting at 6 p.m. Central Time. We have a full recap of this race tomorrow, the Sprecher 150 race day. We have Johnny Sauter joining us to preview his dad's race, the Jim Sauter Classic ARCA Midwest Tour race, next Saturday night, September 3rd at Dells Raceway Park. Yes, they run in the Midwest Truck Series. They're racing for $15,555 to win that one. That was Jim Sauter's number, right? So they're doing it again. They did it last year. They're doing it again. It's an ARCA Midwest Tour race next Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park. Keep that in mind. You want to be there for that one. We're also going to have a Badger Midget racer, Derek Dorr, on the show. He'll help set up the big Labor Day Sunday night races at Angel Park Speedway in Sun Prairie. It's usually the Pepsi Nationals. I don't know what the name of it is this year, but it's a big last Sunday night at Angel Park Speedway. We're going to talk to Derek about that. We're also going to have Midwest Truck Series racer Cody Vanderloop on with us. He raced last night at Madison. He's racing tonight at Dells Raceway Park. And something else cool, we have Knoxville Nationals Queen and sprint car racer Trinity Ustek. We've had Trinity on the show when she raced karts. She's now racing sprint cars. She was one of the queens at the Knoxville Nationals up on the court where they had the big display. So we'll talk to her about that. She's heading off to college, so we're going to talk to her about all the fun she had there and her racing endeavors. So she'll come to our show on Tuesday. Hope you join us there. One more added addition. A bunch of bikes are rolling in. The Bagger Racing League races here at the Milwaukee Mile on Labor Day weekend as part of the Harley Homecoming Rally. They're running 6 divisions in the Milwaukee Mile road course, a configuration you need to check out in person. We'll talk to a bunch of riders for the Bagger Racing League, racing motorcycles here at the Mile. It's the Indian versus Harley. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk to those guys at Paulie's this coming Tuesday night. Like our show on Facebook and enjoy watching our show on demand on MAV TV on Flow Racing. That's where you need to find us each and every week. And we are going to say this has been a great special program here at the Milwaukee Mile, where things get rolling tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. 3 divisions of racing. We want to thank our guests for coming on the show. Travis Rodewald racing in the Big 8 Series. Look for that blue and white number 27. Also, we hope you became a Greg Van Alst fan after watching the show tonight. He's racing the ARCA Menard Series. He's 4th in points, going for a big win in his first full season. We had him on the program as well, and that blue number 35 going around here tomorrow in the Sprecher 150. We want to thank Bob Sargent for all he's done and for appearing on our show as well. Great job by Joe Balish and Austin Shufford and the folks here for making this race weekend possible. We'd like to thank our great support as well, D'Andos Construction, Oak Creek Automotive, for, again, being part of our program and being part of what we get to do in Victory Lane and other cool places on these road shows. We also want to thank our special crew, Dave Schmalzer, Matt Rapina, Mark Goodman here on site. We want to thank Sam Trado, Dean Strom, and Bruce Blodgett for their behind-the-scenes work with Sherry Prague. We want to thank you guys. We couldn't do it without Greg Lapine either. Really appreciate your help and involvement. Until Tuesday, set your DVRs, and see you tomorrow at the Mile. Have at it, racers.
Thank you for joining us for the Racing Roundup Show. Like our show on Facebook, contact us via our website, racingroundupshow.com, and interact with us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We are delivering fresh content every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. Until next time, race fans, support your local racetrack, set your DVR, and have at it, racers.